In the end, I don't even deserve to be a supporting role. You turn away and fall for someone else without a second thought. Why? Aluka couldn't understand. No matter how long she stayed by Rod's side, he never developed feelings for her. She felt very sad about the promise Rod had once made to her. She frowned and showed an unwilling expression. The rain kept flowing from her head to her face, which made her look very pitiful. She could only watch helplessly as the person she had loved for so long was taken away by another girl. Tia carefully held Rod's injured hand with one hand, and then used the other hand to cast healing magic. She is fully focused on healing his injuries. At this point, Rod did not notice any abnormalities in Aluka. He just noticed that she wasn't walking towards them. He turned his head to look at her and said to her, "Aluka, what are you thinking? Come help us carve up the lake master." Aluka tightly gripped the wand in her hand. Although Rod was calling out to her, her mood at the moment was still not very happy. She still cares very much about Rod not paying attention to herself. Her heart ached as if it were being wrung by an invisible hand. In the end, she chose to suppress her emotions. She lifted her head and forced a smile at Rod. She answered, "I'm coming." Her hat fell off as she looked up. The cold rain fell on her head, but she didn't have the mood to put on her hat now. She let the rain wash over her head and face, hoping it could take away her uncomfortable mood. Just as Aluka was about to walk towards Rod and Tia, she suddenly heard a strange sound. This made her body tremble uncontrollably. She opened her eyes and immediately entered a state of alert. Rod and Tia also noticed the sound. They were surprised by this. They turned their heads and nervously looked towards Bebber Lake. This sound, could it be? The sound was mixed with the sound of rainwater and slowly approached them. For some unknown reason, a huge vortex suddenly appeared in the center of Bebber Lake. The vortex rotates at a fast speed, as if it is about to suck up all the lake water. Something is about to rush out here. Then, a huge water column rushed out of the vortex. The power of this water column is even more intense than the one formed by the big fish just now, and it even damaged some nearby trees. The powerful gust generated by the water column sent Aluka's clothes fluttering wildly. Rod and Tia stood by the lake, staring blankly at the suddenly appearing giant creature in front of them. The shadow of this huge creature enveloped them, causing them to feel a bit panicked. Tia couldn't help but lean closer into Rod's embrace. Rod widened his eyes, completely unable to believe what he was seeing in front of him. He extended his hand to protect Tia while saying in surprise, "This, how is it possible?" Another lake master. A huge monster appeared from the water column with an extremely strong sense of oppression. It is the true owner of Bebber Lake. The size of this lake owner is even bigger than the big fish that Rod killed just now. Its entire body is black, and it has a red horn on its head. It still has many scars on its face, which seem to be from previous battles. It looked ahead with its red eyes and opened its big mouth, as if trying to swallow everything in front of it. Tia didn't back down because of this huge monster. She plans to use the same spell to attack it. She reached out her hand and uttered the incantation loudly. Explosive magic. A red magic circle appeared in front of her. Under the blessing of the spell, the magic circle shimmered with red light and continuously emitted flames. She waved her hand upwards, and the flames spewed out from the magic circle immediately flew towards the Lake Master. The flames hit the face of the Lake Master and caused an explosion. However, unlike the huge blow caused to the big fish before, Tia's flames did not cause serious injuries to the lake owner. Her attack did not leave any scars on its face. To the colossal creature, her flames were nothing more than a trivial attack. At this moment, the Lake Master looked down and noticed the flames on its face. It feels very angry about someone attacking it. It opened its mouth and let out a loud roar. Then, it gathers magical energy onto its horns and continuously emits red lightning outwards. When Rod saw its horn glowing red, he instinctively felt that something was wrong. Magic! Soon, the lightning emitted by the Lake Master landed where Rod and Tia were standing. Red lightning kept jumping on the ground, splitting it into many broken stones. In an instant, a huge cloud of dust rose up here. Due to not being able to dodge the Lake Master's attack in time, Rod and Tia were instantly blasted away. Tia seems to have been accidentally struck by lightning from the Lake Master. She shouted loudly, "Ah!" Rod was also struck by lightning from the Lake Master. He flew out of the dust in an instant. He couldn't help but scream in pain. "Ah!" Seeing Rod's figure, without hesitation, Aluka immediately rushed forward and hugged him, preventing him from flying further away. Rod. Due to the strong force received by Rod, Aluka was unable to stand firm immediately. She slid backwards for a distance before slowly stopping. Although Rod was caught by Aluka, his body was still trembling uncontrollably. Instinct told him that they definitely couldn't defeat the current Lake Master right away. He gasped heavily while speaking to Aluka. "Aluka, this is no longer a monster we can deal with. Hurry up and leave here." Aluka is very concerned about Rod's physical condition at this moment. She reached out her hand to try to comfort him, but she still dared not touch his shoulder. She asked him in confusion, "What about you?" Tia, who was attacked by the Lake Master, has fallen to the ground and lost consciousness. She has big and small wounds on her face and arms. Rod doesn't want to abandon his injured teammate and leave here. Tia is brought into the team by me. I must protect her safety. At this moment, Rod plunged his sword into the ground and gripped the hilt tightly to support him as he slowly stood up. He has a head injury and is still bleeding outwards. However, Rod had no intention of dealing with the wound on his head anymore. He only wants to rescue the injured Tia now. He also made up his mind because of this. He looked forward with a serious expression and muttered to himself, "Even if the ending is death, I also want to die with her." Upon hearing what Rod said, Aluka was completely stunned. Her eyes lost their radiance, and her mouth slightly opened. She seemed to feel the light shining in her heart disappear. Tia. Before Aluka could react, Rod had already raised his sword and quickly ran towards Tia's direction. At this moment, wearing a black robe, suddenly appeared here. She stood on the tree and quietly watched everything that happened here. The Lake Master of Beber Lake. I see. Is this the dominant level? She took off her hat and eye mask with one hand and extended the other hand to cast magic. In no time, a black energy gathered in her hands and gradually formed a weapon. If the level of a dominant monster is only at this level, it seems obtaining the dragon's whip for young master won't take me much time. She gave the weapon a deft twirl in her hand, executing a fluid knife-flipping maneuver. She silently stared at the Lake Master of Beber Lake, as if she had developed some interest in it.
Hi! Pineapple has a good news to tell you. My app Lullaby can now be downloaded on the App Store and Google Play. You can search for Lullaby Light Novel in the search bar to find the app. After downloading the app, you can read our exclusive novels and comics more easily on your mobile phone. If you are interested, you can download Lullaby from the App Store and Google Play.